Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 most common things to happen while you're out on a bike ride as far as malfunctions with your bike and how you actually fix those. But for right now, I need to eat some breakfast and I'm going to head out for a bike ride. So, I'll see you out there. Fun fact, today's a really nice day, so I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, well, ride done. I'm gonna eat a bagel, get a coffee, and then I'll see you in the studio. Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the 3 most common things to go wrong on your bike ride. And while none of us want anything to go wrong on our bike ride, it's better to be prepared in case that does go wrong. First things first is going to be a punctured tire. That sets most people along the side of the road for a while. If you're not prepared for it, I'm going to link a video here that is how to change your tire if you get a puncture. But in this video, I just want to let you know that some of the things that you should have along with you on your ride are a mini pump. This is just a small pump that you attach to your stem, and that's going to allow you to reinflate your tire. A set of tire levers. Now, these ones, as I talk about in the other video, actually open up and there are small patches on the inside that if you get a puncture on your tube, you can rough it up with the little file that's included and then put a puncture patch on there and then use the tire levers to get your tire back on the rim. And the third thing that would be helpful in this situation is just a spare tube. I usually have one of these in my pack so that way if the puncture is too bad or if there's actually a rip in the tire that it has caused an issue that just fixing the tube is not going to repair, having an extra tube along is always good because you can throw that on the bike and that'll get you further than just putting a bunch of patches on the tire wheel. Now, if you're running a tubeless bike, you're going to want a different kind of patch kit, and that would probably be some kind of plugs. It may just be some kind of sealant that you carry extra of, but you're probably still going to want a mini pump or some kind of CO2 cartridge to reinflate your tire so that you can get back to your destination. So the second thing that can go wrong is some kind of mechanical dealing with your chain coming off your gears. This is a very common one that you see because especially in races, people are shifting harder, they're moving their chain around a lot more, and so it pops off. So the best way that you can prevent this is by making sure that all of your limit screws are to the correct distances so that way you're not over moving your chain anytime that you're shifting. But in the case that it actually does come off of either your front chain rings or your rear gear set, what you're going to want to do is kind of open up your rear derailleur, and then you're going to be able to grab onto the chain and shift it back onto the chain rings in the front or onto the gear set in the rear. And then for the remainder of the ride, if you can't fix your limit screws while you're out, make sure to stay away from shifting in those far reaches of your gear range. So stay off the very high end or the very low end of your rear gears. So that way you're not pushing that chain too far. If you do have the time, it's usually a Phillips head or a flathead screwdriver that you can just give it a few turns and that'll put your limit screws back into place and give your tire a few rotations to make sure that the chain is staying on the gears, and you should be good to finish your ride. Now, the third and final thing is kind of like a culmination of multiple different things, and that is things coming loose. The way to be best prepared for anything that's coming loose is to have some kind of multi-tool. So I know I've talked about this one before. It has a variety of Allen keys. It has both a flat and Phillips head, as well as a square driver that has a few sockets on here. And then it also has this multi-tooth wrench. So the best way to be prepared for anything that loosens up on the ride is just to be familiar with the different parts of your bike and the bolts and screws that hold them into place. Most things are held together with Allen keys, and so having a bike-specific multi-tool usually puts you in the range of having those specific Allen keys on your ride with you. So most commonly what happens is your handlebars will dip forward because of putting pressure on them, and that's pretty simple. Make sure that the 1, 2, or 4 bolts that hold your handlebars in position are tightened. If your seat drops, make sure that you are adjusting it back to the position that it was in and then retightening your seat clamp. And that is a good point to talk about carbon bikes, that if you are working with a carbon bike, be very careful when doing roadside fixes using a multi-tool, because carbon can crack, and it is best to always use the torque specifications that are usually listed on the part. So get it back to hand tight, but not crank it too hard, and then be a little bit more ginger on your ride back home. And then make sure to either use your torque wrench or take it to a bike shop or a friend that has a torque wrench so that you can get those set back in the correct position and at the correct pressure. Other things that often shake loose are your limit screws that are on your front derailleur and your rear derailleur, causing that chain to pop off like we talked about in the second thing that can go wrong. And also brakes. Brakes often find a way to loosen themselves up, specifically talking about caliper and V-brake setups. When you're dealing with disc brakes, those are a little bit of a different system, but for caliper and V-brand brakes, there are usually a screw on the outside of the brakes that if you tighten those screws, it will adjust the way that the pads are interacting with the wheel. Other than that, most things shouldn't shift around too much. However, it's always good to familiarize yourself with the different moving parts of your bike, so that way if you do end up along the side of the road with something that's hanging off the bike in a way that it shouldn't, you know and have the confidence to fix that, to at least get yourself back to your destination, if not back to good riding condition to carry you on for many more miles. So those are the 3 things that I think most often go wrong. Either you puncture a tire, your chain comes off, or something just rattles loose during your ride. And they can all sound a little bit intimidating, but not to worry, they are all easily taken care of along the side of the road so that you can get back to riding faster. But that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. For whatever reason, YouTube likes thumbs up at the moment. Feel free to leave a comment below asking anything about this video or about bike repairs, and it may turn into a video in the future. As always, hit that subscribe button so that way you can stay up to date on all the videos, and hit the little notification bell beside it so that way you get a notification every time a new video comes out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.